Hi, it's Steve, and welcome to the Seaside Allotment channel. And I thought today, because it's such a lovely day, I would just quickly talk about what there is to do at this time of year, and in particular, what I'm doing. Let's have a look. So one of the things I do with my brassicas, and these are broccoli here, purple sprouting, is when the leaves touch the ground, I like to break them off. By that time they're generally getting pretty holy and ragged, and they're just shading the ground a lot. I tend to get a lot more slugs. So you can see there's a few of these leaves, and I just take them off. Can you see the whitefly? Crazy. So there's a little one. And the whole bed just looks a lot neater. And then I like to take away the leaves because slugs. So all over the ground where there's leaves, I tend to just pull them up and keep the ground reasonably clear. It doesn't take very long, but it's definitely worth doing, I think. Okay. So that's one of the jobs. Do that with all of the brassicas. Just keeps them a lot neater. So, of course, doing all that, trimming and leaves, picking up, get a lot of compost. Still generated at this time of year, and I like to chop it up. So then 30 seconds later, and I'm out of breath, it looks like that. Half the size, much easier to turn, and it composts much quicker. So then on the beds like this, I also just like to pick up the leaves, and it's a pretty good chance that you'll find slugs underneath these leaves. And so it should look like this in a minute. So there we go, little lamb's lettuce, free of leaves and slugs. And if you're wondering what these little pegs are, these are for the fleece. They just keep the fleece off. They're actually meant to hold down landscape fabric. They're absolutely rubbish for that, I find, but they're really good when the plants are young, just to hold the fleece off them. So that's what I use them for. So we'll do a similar tidy up of this little brassica bed here. And again, I'm just taking off all the leaves that the slugs are feasting on, and then I'll probably put down some organic slug pellets. So there we go. That's giving a bit of a tidy up, and that's kind of the debris there. So there's a lot of leaves, and I'm quite happy to put these leaves in. People say the leaves take a long time to break down, but I find that leaves just mixed in with lots of greens like this in a hot compost bin, they rot down pretty quickly, so they'll definitely be fine by the time I'm putting this compost on the beds in I don't know, 9 months, 12 months time, something like that. And I will also pop down the odd few slug pellets. You can see that some of these beds quite heavily infested with slugs and snails, and it doesn't look like it because I've done quite a lot of work on here. It's all cleaned up, no leaves, slug pellets just around the perimeter, and but I've had to take a lot of slug damaged leaves off here in the last few weeks, and there are still a few plants. You can see that a lot of damage has been done, but I think I got on top of it now. And hygiene is kind of just one of those things. You've got to get, well, I think you have anyway. Keep it, there we go, you see, hidden under that leaf, slug. I think leaves are just one of these big issues. It depends on the time of year perhaps, but And a lot of people do recommend using leaves as mulch, but anyway, that's not been my admittedly very limited experience of gardening. It's best to keep the leaves, the beds leaf free at this time of year anyway, when it's damp and cool. So the next thing is try and keep all this rotting vegetation off the soil. So you can see quite a bit of this on this bed. And again, this not only just spreads disease, but again, it's a home for slugs. And again, we've got some more leaves in here as well. And this is partly the problem of having the beds open like this so much of the time. When they're closed up on the low vent settings, we don't get as many leaves in here, but plants enjoy the ventilation and the full sun. So yeah, that's the next job. So we end up with something like that. And it just makes it as well so much quicker to harvest a bed once it's cleaned up like this, because you're just getting so few poor quality leaves in the pick. So it means you can, on a beautiful day like today, no wind, lovely sunshine, you can do this sort of tidy up work. When you just really want to be on the plot, there's not much to do. And then when it comes to doing the harvest on a wet, windy, cold day, it's quick and easy. So the next thing to do is clearance. So I'm currently clearing this bed, these the last of the little gem lettuces, and obviously there's a little bit of space to be filled. So we get a lovely container full, a lovely crispy little gem lettuce. So that's the bed cleared, and I put down about 3/4 of an inch perhaps of new compost. I pretty much always do that whenever I clear a bed. I just think it provides a nice clean planting surface and some nutrients to keep the bed going until it'll get its next crop in March, April time, something like that. And so these are the lettuces that are going to go in. These are freckles, and they're not great quality because these are leftovers. There's quite a few dead leaves on them, and so they need a little bit of clean up before they go in. But I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. There we go. That's a gap filled, and you can see I've given these a really good trim. Get rid of any suspect leaves. Definitely not going to be eaten. And I'm quite pleased really with the way that these have stood up, because they've been in the greenhouse for probably 6 weeks or something like that. And these are the same ones here, so you can see that in the ground obviously they've thrived. These have been picked quite a few times, but these have just sort of sat there in suspended animation effectively, and they're fine, which means I've managed to sneak an extra crop out of this bed of little gems before I actually even needed these winter lettuces. So that's really good, and it's quite good fun actually, because Diane's just been over, and we just picked a week's worth of veg for her. She's one of my neighbours, and so she's going to bring me a dozen eggs. So I just love bartering on the allotment. And I did at one time consider having chickens, and I was going to take these trees down here and put a chicken run in there where the shed is, and just across the front. But it was going to be such a lot of work really to look after chickens on an allotment, coming down twice a day and all that sort of thing. And now I just get all my eggs for free, just with a couple of minutes of harvesting. So it's worked out really nicely. So the other job is just to have a good look round and decide what needs sacrificing. And to be honest, this patchouli has got to go. It's only going to get worse, and I've got 2 other beds that are not being as ravaged by the slugs as this one. So I'm going to pop these out. I'm going to pop these in. And there we go. So again, top dressed with compost and spinach to the right and leaf beet to the left. And hopefully, just like the bull's blood beetroot, these will be for baby leaves for salad, because otherwise I'll outgrow this bed, and it's always nice to have some variety in the salad leaves, especially over winter. And there we go. Last job of the day. Nice bit of cropping. Just a few, not quite the last of the French beans, bit of kale, bit of Savoy, some sprouts, some winter king, some miner's lettuce, some broccoli leaves and some broccoli, loads of lettuce leaves, those little gems that I picked earlier, some apples and some pears, bit of pak choi. There we go. Today's harvest. And so that's the end of the day. Trying to find things to do to enjoy such a lovely day, such lovely weather, and hopefully many more days of trying to find something to do on the plot still to come. Okay, so if you enjoyed this, then please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and yeah, ask questions, give hints and tips to me, because I'm just a newbie gardener. And yeah, you got any suggestions for other videos, let me know. Okay, see you soon.